Hello and welcome back to my podcast. On today's episode, I will be talking a bit about my first degree, which was a Bachelor's of Science in Natural Sciences, and I will be talking about my master's as well, which was in nutrition. Just a brief introduction about me. I am a current medical student studying in Poland. Like I said, I did a Bachelor's of Science in Natural Sciences and a Master of Sciences in Nutrition. My will be my fifth and last episode on the application to university cycle. So my first episode rather was on applying to UK undergrad universities using the UCAS system. So it's such an overview of the UCAS system, which you can use to apply for all undergrad courses in the UK, as well as some postgrad courses like teacher training. My second episode was applying for medicine in the UK. My third episode was on applying to medical school in Poland. And my fourth episode was applying for a postgrad degree, specifically a master's degree in the UK. Now, all of this information I have on my episodes rather so far have been on the UCAS website research as well as prospectus.ac.uk website, as well as my own personal uh, research that I did when I was applying for university. So most of the information on there is correct. The only things that will vary are the grades. So do look into that before you apply. So you're meeting the grade requirements before you apply for university. So let's get started with this podcast episode. So like I said, I'll be talking a bit about my natural sciences and my master's degree, which was in nutrition in this episode. So what is natural sciences? It is a branch of science that uses data to explain and predict natural phenomena like tsunamis and volcano eruptions. It is split into life sciences, so example biology and zoology, and also the physical sciences, so such as physics and geology. There are 5 subjects that form natural sciences: biology, physics, chemistry, earth science, and astronomy. These subjects are used in conjunction to understand the world around us. And now these 5 subjects, they may vary from which university you're studying in. For example, I didn't have the chance to study astronomy. Instead, I was given the chance to study biology, forensics, and psychology. So those are the 3 options that I had when I did my course and the one that I went into. So this meant that I did 3 modules in forensics sciences, 3 modules in biology, 1 module in psychology, and 1 natural science module. I did this pattern for my first and second year. So basically, just to recap about this, so when I say 3 modules in biology and 3 modules in forensics, I mean that biology and forensics were my major subjects. And since I did 1 module in psychology in first and second year, psychology was considered my minor subject. And for all 3 of the years, natural sciences, I had to do a natural sciences module, which was unique to my course. So that's I don't know if every university will do that. That's what my university did. Also, most undergrad studies in the UK takes 3 years. So just another thing to look out for as well. So the modules you will take will vary from university to university. I chose to specialize mostly in human biology. So all of the biology modules or courses I did in first and second year were in human biology. So my third year was slightly different. So in my third year, I did 2 courses rather, in forensic science, and then 3 courses in biology. So these were a bit varied because I had 1 module in insect ecology, 1 module in botany, so like about trees, and then 1 module was in human biology, so it was a bit more varied than what my first and second year was. And then I also had a natural science module, and then I also had my dissertation review that I had to do. So that's not review project rather. So that's an independent project that you will have to do in your final year of study. in your undergrad, and it's like a piece of research that you find fascinating in, and you carry out a series of experiments, and you basically write it up. Write your like conclusions and what you observed during that time. So it's usually around 5 to 10,000 words, I think. Different schools ask for different things. Mine was around 10,000 words, I believe, but it will vary. So a bit about the assessment. So all of my forensic science modules were catered towards training students to become like forensic scientists basically after they finish, but chiefly to work in like crime scene investigations. So I really actually enjoyed this aspect of my degree as it's very hands-on. So a lot of the labs that we had, they were very focused on like DNA analysis, so like using like PCR, like paternity testing. We did some information about that. We also had to do like how do you say finding fingerprints on different surfaces, so like on wooden, on metal, on plastic, glass. We also had to find shoe prints, analyze them, and we got to use like different softwares where we can put the like the shoe prints or the fingerprints of the system to find a match. Um, so that was actually pretty fun to do. The labs, we usually had like 3 hours for labs, so both forensics and psychology. Sorry, forensics and biology. Um, I didn't do labs for psychology, so I don't know how long they were, but for biology and and forensic science, they were usually 3 hours long, and it flew by quickly because we had a lot of things to do. We also did things in like spectroscopy, so like analyzing water samples to see if there's like spiked drugs in them. And then we had to like again use the software program that the university had to find the mix, the match between the samples. So it was quite fun to do. So the assessments for most of my courses were split into lab reports, essays, and exams, with a few modules being just focused on reports. So, for example, for my forensic science degree, 50% of the overall mark towards that module grade came from lab reports. Sorry, from the labs rather. So that included lab reports, any class test that you might had, and then the other 50% came from the exam. So you can score like equally well depending on how you want to do pass it. Whereas for biology, it was mostly focused on exam, and like the lab would be say 30 to 40% of the overall grade, whereas the exam would be around 60 to 70%. So very varied. So the exams are mostly also short answer exams with one or two having multiple choice questions. Um, all of my psychology exams were essay based exams. So we had both the modules were essay based. So we had to do an essay as part of the in-course assessment, and we also had to do essays as part of the exam. And I think one of them was also multiple choice from what I vaguely remember. It's been a while, but I think there was multiple choice involved as well. Um, So the assessments were similar but still varied. Now, again, this can differ from university to university, so make sure you do a thorough research on the course, especially with regards to your course structure, content of each of the modules, assessments, and the general employability of the course. Now, if you do go on to like each of the university websites, and if you type in the course that you want to do, you can search for the course catalogs, and you can actually find out what kind of modules they have. So each of the course you are interested in applying for, they will have like a catalog, basically like a PDF document of all the modules that you will be expected to do, and then you can, using the course catalog, which again you find on the university website, you can search for them, search for those courses in that catalog, and it'll tell you more about the information of the course. And you can like look into them. So it'll tell you what the professors who are teaching the course, who the what the course content would be, what the exams are going to be, and how they're going to be assessed. So do check it out if you got the time to look into it. Um, so most of the people that I know who did a bachelor's in natural sciences, they completed a master's, including myself. Um, Someone I know who ended up doing a PhD in chemistry after they finished the natural science degree and is now working in industry. But the other classmates, if they didn't do a master's, they went straight into employment because they wanted to finish, they wanted to work in the industry instead. So what I found is that with a lot of my friends who went straight into employment, they were not necessarily working in the industry they chose to be in. But because with natural science, because it's quite broad and a bit vague as well with the degree, it's hard to like quickly find a job. Compared to like forensic science, for example, where you're trained to be working in a set industry, and that program was as well a accredited program, so which meant that you had the accreditation with the Royal Forensic Society, and you can like use their website to apply for jobs. Natural sciences, when I was doing it in my university at that time, the accreditation process was started, and I think the university has the accreditation now, but not when I finished my degree. So those websites, like the Royal Forensic Society or the Royal like Biology Society, they have like courses or like research perhaps that you can get involved in if you want to increase your employability a bit more. Because like I said, the courses in natural sciences are a bit vague, also very broad. So sometimes it's hard to like specialize in a subject you want to do and masters. Now I was fortunate enough my that natural sciences was accepted as my as a degree for my masters in nutrition. But I also knew my end goal when I started the course, that I want to do medicine. So I worked my way up to end up doing medicine. It just meant that I had to go abroad for it, but I'm happy with the decision. Um, so what I would suggest doing is if you're really interested in applying for natural sciences, um, you should really have a robust plan of what you want to do in the future. And this is a difficult decision to make when you're 18, 17 years old because you don't really know what you want to do at that stage. Not everyone knows that. Um, in that regard, I would say if you can get on to courses that do like lab skills workshop, even for a day or for 1 week, do go see yourself. Do sign up for those to see if you would like to work in labs. Because after doing the degree, lab work might be something that you're interested in. So if you want to be like a clinical scientist in the NHS, you can start to apply for the STP program. So that's a scientist training program. They have their own like criteria. So again, look at that before you start to apply for a course. Um, you can also look at apprenticeship perhaps as well in labs. If you're really interested in academia as well, again, see if you can like get involved in like some sort of research project. Now it might be a bit hard when you're still at school, but it's possible. So perhaps you can get involved in something like your local university is doing to see if you want to do academia. Now that's something that you'll also come to come to know more about once you've started your university career and you get to your final year and you're doing your dissertation or your thesis or research project. You'll get to know more about what involves being in academia. So it should give you some insight basically after that. So if you can get a lot of like lab-based research initially before you apply for natural science, I would definitely recommend it because it is a bit of a unique course. And if you, like me, are interested in doing in medicine, it's not always accepted as a degree in the UK, simply because it doesn't always have the necessary like biology and or chemistry, especially organic chemistry content. In that case, I would say if you're really interested in going into medicine after you did natural sciences, make sure you have really high A-level grades in biology and chemistry and a third subject, because that could be like the requirement for it. And if you do natural sciences, make sure that you choose like very um topics in biology and chemistry, especially organic chemistry. I think that would really be helpful. So if you have any more questions about natural sciences, uh, please do email me about it, and I can happily try and help out your queries. So now we'll go on to talking about nutrition masters. So nutrition's a discipline that focuses on understanding the role of diet in maintaining human health and preventing disease. So as we're moving towards a healthier lifestyle globally, understanding nutrition's become more paramount. Um, and demand for having specialists in this field is growing. So all of the master's courses, whatever you do, should give you an in-depth understanding of that particular topic that you want to focus on. So for nutrition, you should, after finishing the master's, you should have an in-depth understanding of the like scientific, social, and ethical consideration that like nutrition professions will use to provide like robust information to the public. So usually nutritionists they follow the considerations that are set by the AFN, so that's the Association for Nutrition, which is a professional voluntary register of nutritionists. So they set like the target of study that each university in the UK that does masters or a BSc course in nutrition, they had to follow that standards in order to train students who will, when they finish their degree, will have a robust understanding of the scientific, social, and ethical considerations that um, you will need to know if you want to work as a nutritionist or even as a dietitian in the field. So in the university that I did my degree in, they did a lot of we covered a lot of areas in nutrition, so like policy and practice, as well as understanding the relationship between diet, human health, and well-being. Um, so with a lot of like the university that courses that I did like a module on diet and cardiovascular health. So that's talking about like polyphenols and like antioxidants when it comes to cardiovascular health. We did a module on impacts of food processing on nutritional quality. I basically looking at like European standards of food, as well as other regulations that might be worldwide. We also had to do a research project which was worth 80 credits. So that's the main bulk of the masters. We also, like I said, did nutrition in policy and practice. So this policy and practice was from like the European Union guidelines, which is what the UK still follows despite Brexit. And it's like a standard set by the European Union to make sure that all the food produce that comes into the EU and leaves the EU are at a very good standard, and it doesn't have any like anything that could harm your health potentially. So they are very strictly regulated. We also did a module in obesity and personalized nutrition in the 21st century. Now, you may not know, but not everyone's obese because they are couch potatoes. Some people are obese because it's part of their diet, part of their genetics, also part of their diet, but also the genetics that could play a role in this. Now, one thing that's come up in recent scientific research is microRNAs, and their use in obesity. I will talk a bit more about this in my next podcast series. as it's a topic that I did quite a lot of research in for my master's. It'll also be helpful for students who are doing medicine because it's also very biochemistry heavy. And then we also did a applied nutritional epidemiology research, which was basically looking at like statistics that are used in giving out public health information about diet and nutrition. And my last module I did was nutrition through the life course. So yeah, as you can see, my master's was quite varied in the amount of things we looked into, and it wasn't particularly science heavy as I thought it would be. So we had quite a few students who did like business studies as their degree, or like a not non like biology heavy subject. So it catered for a lot of people of different educational backgrounds. Now, when you're looking at master's courses for nutrition, not all of them will be called nutrition. Some of them will be called public health nutrition. Some of them will be animal nutrition. So again, it's something that you should look into before you apply. So again, like I said, for this course, whichever university you apply for, make sure you look into like the course content, and if you can find out the course um, what's it called, the course catalog, you can find out what the assessments they had. So all of my modules had exam bar the research project and the food processing module. So for the research project, it was a I think a 5,000 word project on a topic that one of the professors had an interest in. So I had to email a few professors, sign up on their course, and I ended up doing a systematic review because I did my course online for my master's. Apart from like seven or eight in-person sessions with for the labs and for the epidemiology module. I didn't really get a chance to do a lot of interactions. So by the time I was going to do my exams in second semester. I was also in medical school, so it got a bit busy. So my exams are all actually for both semesters were all online. So I don't know what's happened now. I don't know if the course is back to in person again. So it might be that exams are in person. Um, so we had it lucky in the fact that my our exams are in online, and we had a couple of hours, I think 24 hours to finish the exam. But the tutors recommended 2 hours to complete the exam in. So yeah, I think it probably will change once this episode's been uploaded. Especially the COVID risk is reducing a bit now. So yeah, so that's just a bit about nutrition. Now, the employability for this course is quite difficult. So a lot of people, once they finish, they will go into working as a technical graduate, for example. They could work as a nutrition advisor and a business development executive for different companies. You can work as a product development officer, food technician, possibly as a dietetic assistant as well, nutritionist, and things like PepsiCo, for example. Some people also find jobs as food labeling and nutrition coordinators. You could be a nutritional technologist, potentially a regulatory advisor, also a product development technician as well. So quite a different variety of roles. People also go into PhDs. So that's something you can look into if you're interested in doing a PhD. Like I said, I wanted to go into medicine, so for me, it worked out well. Um, you can also work in like private nutrition clinics as well, or run your own business where you can give out nutritional advice. So again, it really varies on what you're what your interest is in after you graduate. Um, so yeah, so that was just an overview of the natural sciences and master's course that I did both. Both are very unique and different, but at the same time they helped me to get onto medical school, and it's been really helpful in helping me understand the scientific concepts. So yeah, so if you have any more questions about applying to university in the UK for any courses or applying for medical school in the UK or Poland, please don't hesitate to contact me. I'll leave you my email links in the podcast info as well as my website info, so you can reach me through email, through my website, or even through Instagram and Twitter as well. So yeah, thank you for listening, and I'll see you guys next time.